Coach, big game of the year. You've had a rough part of the season so far. How do you get your team up for this game? I know it's the Army-Navy game, but
Did you just ask that?
well, it's a question we ask every year.
Yeah,
is this an important game? That's
no
a silly
doubt. There's nothing I have to do to get these guys up. I mean, this is the biggest game of the year. It's it's Army Navy. You don't have to do anything. I don't have to stand on my head and do cartwheels or bring in a voodoo doctor or anything. It's Army Navy, so they know what time it is, and like our preparation to this point. But this is obviously a huge game.
So Army's been coming up in the past couple of seasons. What do you see in them? What kind of challenges is that going to present to you coming up on Saturday?
Good football team. I've done some good things this year. Playing well, won some close games. Good football team.
Coach, you had a 14-year winning streak. It was broken last year. How does it feel to try to get redemption this year?
I don't even remember that. We're getting ready for this year. Get ready for the season 2017 team. This is a new season. It's just like when people used to ask me about the streak. None of that had any bearing on the next game, and that's the way we were able to maintain that. You have to press forward, and we're getting ready for a really good 2017 on the team.
Do the guys talk about the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, what that would mean to be able to get that?
No doubt, it's our number one goal every year, to win the Commander-in-Chief trophy, to win the bowl game. To win our conference. We didn't get our conference goal, but to win the Commander-in-Chief trophy is our other number one goal, so hopefully we can get that.
You've won every game against Army at Lincoln Financial Field. So does that give you a little comfort going back there?
We love going there. It's been good to us, and hopefully that luck will continue on for us.
So what are going to be the keys to beating Army? What are you going to be looking for?
The same as every year. Make sure we take care of the ball. Miss assignments. We can't have bad penalties. It's any other. As big as the game is, it's the same things I tell you guys every week. That doesn't change. We're 104 in turnover margin, which is the highest we've ever been. Can't remember being that high. We just got to do those things that we normally do, and that's what our goal.
And a win on Saturday, would that make it a successful season?
Oh, no doubt. To win the Commander-in-Chief trophy, have 7 wins with the chance to win 8 in the bowl game, definitely be a successful season.
Coach, I was going to ask you a little bit about the quarterback situation. Would it be fair to say there's a chance we could see all 3 of your quarterbacks just like we did against Houston?
Definitely. They've all been practicing, all doing well. We're healthy. Unlike last year, we're healthy this year. We don't have any excuses. We've had a couple weeks to get ready for them. So, we feel good, but we'll see what happens Saturday, but we like where we're at this point.
There's a lot of it situational. Like against Notre Dame, it turned into the type of game that suited Zach Abey. If you were to fall behind, God forbid, maybe Garrett Lewis. Is it situational for these 3 guys?
Definitely, because they've all got their strengths. We'll see. Ivan obviously coaches them, make that call, but they've all done well. They've done well in the game, and it's kind of see how it unfolds.
Do you feel like Zach, having what he's done over the course of the year, deserves to play in the Army-Navy game in some capacity?
Who says not to?
Right. No, I'm just saying. Right. Well, with regard to Malcolm, obviously, whether he plays slot back or quarterback, can you talk about how much of an impact he can make?
Yeah, right now all 3 of them are playing. I ain't telling Army who's playing. So
right, of course, right.
So they're all playing.
Right, but can you expound a little bit about Malcolm and the type of player what the impact he can make in this particular game?
His one start, he rushed for 282 yards. That's his first collegiate start, so he's a dynamic kid. Against Air Force when he played, he rushed for 100 and something yards on 6 carries and had a touchdown pass. He's as dynamic as a ball carrier that we've ever had.
And in a game that tends to be low scoring, that big play threat is a huge thing in your back pocket.
Just like with their number 5, they got their big play guy.
Cal Walker.
Yeah, so, the big plays are important, because they're hard to come by in these games because you got 2 defenses that know each other. So, hopefully, we can stop them and hopefully we can get some big plays.
We have a guy here doing a feature on Craig Scott. Can you just talk about what he's done? He's a guy that's gone on to the radar a lot. I was talking to Strauss. He's never even had anything written about him in 4 years, but he's been a guy that's been your punt returner and contributing. What can you say about Craig Scott?
It's very applicable for our team and what the wide receivers stand for. Very unselfish, great kid. Like I said, he's been our punt returner. But it's probably it's par for the course. And I mean, he's done great things for us. Nobody without any fanfare. But when he does well, we succeed. But he doesn't look for the glory of the limelight, and it's kind of been the nature of brotherhood in our football program.
And as a punt returner, he's been pretty reliable. He doesn't mess up. And, I mean, you want a guy that will catch the ball first and foremost.
He's been very reliable for us. I mean, like I said, he's done a really good job. And I couldn't be more proud of him. He's a great kid, great ambassador for our school and for our program. And, you know, hopefully we can send him out there.
Well, obviously, I was just talking to Coach, and we're not going to tell Army whether you're playing quarterback or slot back, but we do know you're playing in the Army-Navy game. Can you talk about, how much you're looking forward to this?
It's the biggest game of the year. If you can't get excited about this one, you can't get excited about any game. And I'm definitely the most excited I've been all year. Ready to get on the field, ready to put some work in.
Well, naturally, it's two different positions, and you've now been flip-flopping back and forth, practicing a little bit at both. And just talk about, is that difficult to try to master two positions? You played quarterback against SMU, then you turned around and played slot back against Houston. How's it been?
It's not that difficult. Last year I spent the whole year in the QB's room, so I was pretty familiar with everything there. And all through camp, I was with the slot back, so it's been a smooth transition. I haven't really struggled, so that's pretty good.
So last year's Army-Navy game as a plebe, were you on the sideline, or what was your role?
I was on the sideline for that game. I was at QB that game, so.
Did you get to stand there and do the signal stuff?
I got to stand there and do the signal, so it was pretty cool. It was a good experience, but hopefully it's a better one this year.
Did you feel like you at least got an understanding what the game's about, so it won't be so enormous if this won't be your first time in that stadium with the atmosphere?
Yeah, definitely. You get the experience of the atmosphere even if you're on the sideline. So it was good to get that under my belt and have that going into the game. So.
I know Air Force recruited you. Did Army?
Army did recruit me. Yeah.
Did you go look? Did you take a visit?
I took my visit to Air Force. Then Navy, and I didn't get a chance to go to Navy.
Right, because you decided you were going to come here.
Yes, sir.
Right. So now, obviously, you've been a very dynamic player for Navy. Can you just talk about? In this game, one or two big plays can be decisive. This tends to be low-scoring, 2017 type game. You've had 90-yard touchdown runs this year. One of those would be real nice on Saturday.
Right. Those are always nice. These games, we know how this game's going to go. It's going to be, grinded out, battle, physical game. Big plays like that definitely could decide this game. So definitely need some of those.
Have you been pretty pleased with the season you've had so far?
I wouldn't say pleased. I'm always learning. I just want to continue to learn and get better. For the next game, help the team win.
So Navy fans are always sending me emails, and I hear from the fans all the time that they want Malcolm to get the ball. How is that? Is it a tough situation for you, knowing that there's a lot of playmakers on this team, like Bonner over here, and Zach Avy's obviously had a great year? Is it tough when people are always saying we need Malcolm to do everything?
I don't really pay attention to it. I do what the coaches tell me. I know they have the best interest in the team. So do I, and all these other guys. Whoever has the ball in their hand making plays, I'm happy with it as long as we're winning. So that's just what I want to do.
So how much would it mean to beat Army and get that Commander-in-Chief's trophy back?
It would make this season one of my best seasons ever playing football. So definitely not.
Well, just wanted to talk to you about Malcolm, and obviously we're not telling Army whether he's playing quarterback or slot back or both, and the bottom line is they know he's going to be on the field, period. And Monken already told me they're going to be accounting for him for darn sure. But what can you say about the season this kid's had?
Oh, he's had an unbelievable year. He's just a hard worker. He's a competitor. He's been blessed, obviously, with a lot of athletic ability, but it's just his heart and determination and want to and drive that obviously has made him a really good player. So he works hard, he practices hard. You can push him hard, you can get on him. He's harder on himself than I could ever be. It's fun coaching a guy like that where you can, set the bar pretty high and they're gonna bust their butt and try to get to him.
What is it about him? He's just got this uncanny ability to make quick cuts, to change direction at full speed, to make guys miss. What is it about this kid?
Yeah, that's all God given. That's there's no drill work and stuff we do out here. Obviously, it's not from out here making cuts and stuff. Everybody does the same drills. He's just been blessed with a knack to make people miss and run fast and make full speed decisions. So some guys got it, some guys don't. I never had it. A lot of people don't. But anytime we can get him the ball, pitch him the ball, and throw him the ball, and that kind of stuff, give him the ball in space. That's obviously to our benefit, and it helps us.
Well, it's been a while since one player had as many big plays. I mean, 2 90-yard touchdown runs in one season does not happen often. I mean, I'm thinking back to Marcus Curry, maybe. I mean, Sean White. But, I mean, he has been a big play threat, and that's a nice thing to have in your back pocket, especially going in this game, knowing one play could be decisive.
Yeah, no doubt. He, he's got to make you miss, and then people have had a hard time catching him. So
yeah, he finishes.
Yeah, he finishes runs. I mean, those 90-yard runs could have been 40 or 50-yard runs. And he finished them. He pulled away at the end, and so those that's the thing. There's big guys that can make you miss. He's got the ability to make you miss and go. So that's obviously a great combination. For our guys, that we get the ball to. We'd like them all to be that way, but we take what we can get, and he's done a really good job with that.
So long before the SMU game, when he went crazy, I had fans tell me that we need to give Malcolm the ball more. And now, since that game, that's all they owe. Everybody wants Malcolm to carry the ball every time. Is it, as coaches, that's not possible. This is a triple option. It spreads the ball around. That's the whole point. But at the same time, you got a weapon that you got to utilize. It's a fine balance.
No doubt. And yeah, we got to get him the ball more. We're trying to get him the ball more. We got some ways. We're going to get him the ball more. So that's on us as coaches. And if we're not getting it to him enough, Coach Niumatalolo's going to tell us get him the ball more. So yeah, we have to. But then, it's got to be in the flow of the offense, too. So, obviously, Army knows he's getting the ball, too.
Yeah.
So, so that can be, disadvantage to us. Sometimes it can be an advantage. So,
right. If they're keying on him and you're trying to get him the ball, you might be hurting yourself.
Right. So, obviously, we got to be sound. But we got to obviously take advantage of getting him the ball. I don't know what that number is. But the more, probably the better.
Third person asked you the same line of questioning about your family's background. Well, obviously, it's many people have been talking about the fact that you come from an Army family, and I went and spent some time with your family on Sunday, and you told me that growing up, when you watched the Army-Navy game, you were rooting for Army. Does that seem like a distant memory now?
It seems like a very distant memory at this point. I can't be farther from that at this point.
Right.
Yeah. Everything, I wish them success, but just not against us.
Right. Was it weird? I mean, first and foremost, coming to Navy, I mean, having grown up in an Army household, rooted for Army your whole life, was that a hard changeover for you to even consider playing for Navy?
It wasn't that hard of a changeover. To be honest, Army didn't really show much interest in the first place, so it made it pretty easy to decide here.
Does that give you extra motivation going into this game?
Not really, because I feel like if they offered me anyways, I would have come here. I just love the school, love the coaching staff here.
What was it about Navy that appealed to you? Because your dad told me that after you came to camp and they offered you within a week or even less, you said, that's where I want to go.
Just the staff, how amazing they are. I mean, they love every single player. They care about every single player. It's nothing about them. It's all about the team and the program.
Mm-hmm. So what is it for your family? Obviously, with your dad, a career Army man, both of your brothers are in the Army. Is this cause friction, or how's it been for you?
So it caused friction. I have 2 older brothers. It caused friction with the oldest one, where I thought it was going to cause friction with the middle one.
Right.
Because the middle one's all against. He's against me, normally, and things like this. But he's been really supportive of me. He's all me, and as long as I go here, he'll root for Navy. But then the oldest one, who we've always ganged up on the middle one.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
We've always ganged up on him.
You and Paul gang up on Zach.
And now Paul's against me. So
right.
I don't really know.
Right. Now, Paul has made one concession. His Army jersey does have 57 and Hawk on it. Or is that almost kind of weird for your name and number to be on an Army-looking jersey?
Yeah, I feel like he's supporting himself in that one. That's not this 57, that's him.
Yeah, right. And he's, I guess the good news is he's not going to be sitting with your family, because that would be a little awkward in the Navy section with this brother.
Actually, he is.
He is? I thought he was going to be somewhere else.
No, I got an extra ticket from one of my teammates and transferred over. No. So when I put them all in, all 5 of them are together.
That's not working out so well.
We'll give him a Navy sweater to put over it.
But all in all, good fun with the whole family with this kind of thing.
Oh yeah, it's great to have my middle brother back from overseas. He's on leave from Germany right now. We haven't all 3 been together in over 2 years, so that was a really nice experience.
Right. Were you home recently and had time to spend with him over the weekend?
I did. When we came back from Houston, because Paul's stationed in North Carolina,
Right.
so he was up for Thanksgiving, but he wasn't here this past weekend.
Right.
So when we came back from Houston, I went home and they were all there.
Right.
It was really nice.
Now, one person who has never ever wavered in her support is your mom.
Yeah.
And we got to give a shout out to her because she's never even questioned who's, there's no Army Navy for her. It's Jake Hall.
Oh, no doubt.
You gotta love her. Huh?
Yeah, it's not like my brothers don't play for Army, so all of the obviously her support is with me, which I appreciate. I need someone on my side in this, so that's really nice.